Thank you, Mr Efford. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairship. I thank my honourable friend, the member for Newton Abbot, and the honourable member for Derby South for securing this debate. I know from both my personal experience and that of my constituents, private parking can often feel like the Wild West. Extortionate fees, poor signage, outrageous fines, and an often opaque and unjust appeals process are too often the norm. As one can see from the attendance of this debate, it's a real issue across the country, although oddly not in many Conservative constituencies, it seems. In the words of the AA, private parking operators often act as shark-like businesses. I consequently welcome today's debate, the opportunity it affords to shine a light on this issue. Some of the stories we've heard have been appalling, and the time has come to stop wringing our hands and do something about it. That's why the Liberal Democrats are calling for the introduction of an independent parking regulator with appropriate power to regulate fees, enforcement and appeals. It is vital that national standards are introduced to protect motorists and ensure transparency across the system.
Would my honourable friend give way?
Of course I will.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. Trust in these parking companies is so low that now more and more motorists are moving to on-street parking. Like in Hill Green, where nuisance parking outside high footfall businesses has caused much concern with local residents. Would he agree that more needs to be done to encourage holistic parking strategies to ensure motorists and residents get a fairer deal?
I completely agree. We need a parking system that works. We're not against parking, we're against the abuse of the parking system. Absolutely. It is beyond doubt the current status quo is allowing private companies to act with impunity, preying on the millions of motorists in this country who rely on private car parks to go about their everyday life. As we heard from the members from Newton Abbot, Darlington, Strangford, Derby North, Bath and West Dorset and many others, many of these companies use underhand tactics to increase the fines charged and county court judgments issued. It is simply not acceptable. As one member said, rip off Britain. It's simply not acceptable. As the member for Derbyshire Dales noted, the RAC have said that the private parking operators are on track this year to hand out a record 14.5 million fines, each costing the recipient up to £100 and potentially more if they dispute or delay payments. Many of these are not for genuine infringements, but simply devices used as tools with little to no scrutiny by the government to raise money, as we've heard from many members. And as the member for Derby North and South and Shipley particularly noted, some of our constituents are facing fines that soon escalate to many thousands of pounds. It is truly shocking. The government situation like this should simply not be allowed to happen. The government must urgently stamp down on this abuse of the parking ticket system. In addition to the establishment of a fully resourced and empowered regulator, a clear national code of practice must be reintroduced to promote transparency. So can I ask the Minister to confirm when the new code of practice will be reissued? We also need a robust independent appeals body, as the industry's own processes are clearly not working. As the members from Derby South, Sheffield Central and Glasgow North particularly said, many motorists simply do not bother to appeal, or as the process is so difficult and time-consuming. Of course I will.
Does the honourable member agree with... Thank you, Chair. Does the honourable member agree with me that on the appeals process, many constituents across the country are attending court to find that their court hearing has been cancelled by the company last minute, and that is a waste of time and a waste of the court's time?
Indeed, I do agree. Tactics are used by these companies simply to increase their profits and to increase our frustration and make people impotent in the face of their abuses. Even when individuals take the trouble to appeal, the process is opaque and impossible to navigate, as the member for Mansfield so eloquently noted. I've experienced this myself when one of my constituents got in touch about the incorrect parking penalty notice from Britannia Parking. It was well nigh impossible to find the contact details of the company, whilst the links they provided to appeal did not work. Put simply, the Liberal Democrats stand for fairness and accountability in the private parking system. Whilst we welcome the government's promise to introduce a code of practice, the devil, as always, will be in the detail. We will scrutinise the new code when it materialises to ensure motorists are properly protected from rogue parking firms. We remain of the view the government should go further and introduce a regulator who would have appropriate powers to enforce the code of practice and put an end to the current abuse. Thank you.